Hi guys, welcome back to the IP podcast with me, host Feng Hao. To continue with the series The Fate of the Intellectual Property, today we would like to bring to the audience an in-depth analysis of the Private Bay case with the sharing of four IP experts. For your information, the Private Bay is one of the world's best well-known websites for offering access to millions of copyrighted artistic works by functioning as a search engine, redirecting users to desired links. In other words, TPB follows the P2P network sharing model, and major record firms division in Sweden sued TPB for in 2010 for copyright infringement. I believe this case will give us a lot of insights into copyright law in real life. And once again, you are listening to the IP podcast, and I'm host Phương Hảo.
In this case, we look at movies, TV shows, music works, and other forms of entertainment work registered under Sweden Intellectual Property Rights Office and protect under copyright law. A record firm's divisions in Sweden act as both the authors and the owners versus the Pirate Bay, the TPB. The Private Bay provides a search engine that generates a list of search results from P2P networks around the world where users can find the desired work. This act belongs to the owner's economic right to display and communicate their work to the public.
You are mentioning the economic rise. Could you please more specific on that?
So in copyright, there are rights entitled to the author and owners of the intellectual property right of the property. The author has the moral right, which is the right to title the work, to attach name or pseudonym to the work, to publish the work, to protect the integrity of the work, while the owner has the economic right, the right to reproduce the work, to make derivative, to display the work to the public, to communicate their work to the public, to distribute, import, and lease.
I see. It means that the record firms had economic rights, and TPP has let users freely share copyrighted without the permission of these record companies.
You're right.
However, as far as I know, TPP claims that it is merely a search engine providing pointers to existing P2P networks that it doesn't itself control. Therefore, it could not be held for people use of TPP, and under the Article 10 of the European Convention, sharing or allowing others to share copyright-protected material for profit-making purpose was covered by the right to receive and impart information. And TPP's founders also claims that their right to receive and impart information had been violated when they were convicted for others' person use of TPP.
Actually, the defendants, in this case TPB's founder, have never denied that the website was a commercial enterprise that was designed to make profits for its founder from advertising revenue. Besides, the ultimate goal of intellectual property rights is to balance competing interests, the public interest and the interest of the creators. In the case of TPB, the website was indeed a money-making operation from the beginning, designed to produce benefits and profits to its founder with the main source of revenue from advertising.
So I understand what you are saying. In fact, the Article 10 of the European Convention guarantees freedom of expression to everyone, which means no differentiation is made in it according to whether the aim is to make a profit or not. And as a consequence, the applicant's convictions based on the provisions of the Copyright Act and Criminal Code restricted their rights to the freedom of expression and information.
Yeah, it's true. But the first Swedish court found that the defendants have been indifferent to the fact that the copyright work has been the subject of the file sharing activities via the website, even though being urged to remove the content torrent files in question. Furthermore, the defendants were found to incite copyright infringement by providing search functions, uploading tools, and storage possibilities, and a tracker. In fact, the primary purpose of TPP was to violate copyrights in order to make money from the owners for commercial intent. Furthermore, the European Court is of opinion that since the Swedish authorities was under obligation to protect the plaintiff's property rights in accordance with the Copyright Act and the Convention, there were weighty reasons for the restriction of the applicant's freedom of expression.
I think besides TPP operating system and the activist founder, facts related to this case cannot be neglected. For more than a decade, TPP has been one of the most popular private music and multimedia sites, providing free access to millions of copyrighted songs as well as thousands of copyrighted Hollywood films, television shows, and video games. As of 2015, the site received about 9 million visitors per day. Despite repeated legal attempts to shut it down, TPP has managed to continue its operation. The site has already been blocked in at least 20 countries and has seen a lot of downturns, yet remains widely accessible.
Could you please tell us more about this?
Sure, in 2006, when the Swedish police raided PRQ, which was the internet service provider that hosted TPP, the website was shut down, but only for 3 days. In 2011, the firm relocated its servers to Caves in Sweden and distributed multiple copies of its program to countries across Europe, including France, Finland, Italy, and many others. After 3 years, in 2014, TPP remained inactive for 7 weeks as its co-founder was arrested. However, the site continued to prove as elusive as ever for law enforcement, using a distributed approach to minimize the impact of closures in any country where it operates. And in 2016, a Swedish court ruled that the state could seize the company's top-level Swedish domains. In response, it moved back to its original domain from 2003 and returned to the top spot among similar sites after several years of hiatus. Also in this year, TPP became the largest video streaming site globally with a plugin that allows users to stream pirated content directly from their browsers. And the advent of streaming to TPP has been a welcome addition to customers who insist not paying for content.
I believe all those facts and even the motivation of TPP's founders, let alone can be persuasive enough to convict TPP to be an illegal website and its founder to be guilty.
Oh, yes, I couldn't agree more with you. In fact, the first Swedish court in Stockholm declared TPP four founders guilty of violating the Swedish copyright law and sentenced each to 1 year in prison and payment of 3.5 million in restitution to the plaintiff. Also, Swedish division of the major recording firms like Warner Music, Sony, and, and EMI Group. However, TPP moved its server into Cave in Sweden in 2011 and dispersed multiple copies of its program to other countries. And then in the next few years, to counter non-stop raid from the law enforcer, TPP has hopped through many countries and regions until December of 2014, when the police shut it down after the company filed for bankruptcy. And then in 2014, the co-founder G.S. Walk began serving a 42-month term in prison in Denmark for both copyright infringement and computer crimes unrelated to TPP. The co-founder Peter Sander was arrested after years on the run and served a 5-month prison term for copyright violation. And last but not least, Frank Nagy, another co-founder, were arrested in Thailand when transferred to Square custody to serve a 10-month prison sentence.
I believe this sentence is fair enough to balance the interests of both the public and private, and also bring back the benefits to the owners and the authors as well.
Based on what we discussed so far, I have a few suggestions. First and foremost, we should revise the law to clearly attach more responsibilities to ISPs, media platforms, and search engines regarding copyright materials. Although they might not be held liable for what their user upload, access, or via their website, they need to improve on their censorship report system to efficiently detect the content distributed on their service. Also, where the potential copyright infringement, they have a duty to remove or ban any links that commit violations.
And copyright material producers, owners should be taken further steps to protect their rights, including strike a deal with online delivery platforms such as iTunes, Spotify. This platform guarantee consistent revenue from copyright work to the owners and provide consumer instant access to artistic work with just a single purchase button instead of dealing with hundreds of pop-up ads, unwanted downloadable software with a high risk of exposures to computer virus or pirate sites.
Thank you, and it's such a thorough recommendations for not only the lawmakers but also the author and the owners of the intellectual property as well in terms of copyright. And thanks for listening to our podcast today with me, host Phương Thảo. And we hope our deep dive into the IP laws and our series of case studies have provided you useful insights. And if you enjoyed this episode and you would like to support our channel, please share it with others and post about it on social media, or leave a rating and a review. And to catch all these latest from me, you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. Thanks again, and I will see you later.